Bob Barker saying good night, everybody.
This past Saturday, we lost a television legend and our friend, Bob Barker. Bob was an amazing man who set the gold standard not only for his performance on camera, but for his off-camera love and support of all animals, big and small. Most people remember Bob from the 35 years he spent hosting The Price is Right. So it's easy to forget that for 18 years, he was a fixture in America's living rooms for Truth or Consequences. Radio host before that, and a naval aviator during World War II. We'll also remember Bob for his tireless work on behalf of all animals, from whales and elephants to the cats and dogs he reminded everybody at the end of the show to get spayed or neutered. You know, I mentioned the word legend earlier, and while that word gets thrown around all too much these days, it couldn't be more appropriate when you think about Bob's time on The Price is Right. Bob's skills were second nature to him. He was the master of the game, but he always knew who the real stars of his show were, the contestants. Today, we celebrate Bob's legacy with a look back at some of the incredible moments of his time here on The Price is Right. This is for you, Bob.
Well, Ron, who will it be? Here is the first item up for bids today. Actual retail price.
He is best known, of course, for hosting The Price is Right for 35 years.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
But there's another role Bob Barker cherishes just as much.
Jessie is shelter dog, of course.
Bob Barker is such a great name for an animal rights spokesman.
It is more than his devotion to Jessie, the abandoned part chow his brother persuaded him to adopt after his old dog had died.
And I said, all right, bring her over. And I've never regretted it.
Bob Barker, now 85, has donated millions for animal protection, including sponsoring programs to spay and neuter animals.
One of the most tragic problems, so far as animals are concerned, in our country, in the world, as a matter of fact, is overpopulation.
How did you get so interested in helping to protect animals?
Well, I've always loved animals, and I always had animals.
He grew up on an Indian reservation in South Dakota, where his mom taught school after Barker's dad died. He married Dorothy Jo Gideon, his high school sweetheart, and after a stint as a Navy pilot, Barker decided to try broadcasting, eventually hosting a show before a live audience.
And my wife was at home, and she heard that first audience participation show. And when I came home, she said, Barker, that's what you should do. She said, you did that better than you've ever done anything else.
In the 1950s, the Barkers moved to LA, where he hosted another radio program. One day, TV game show impresario Ralph Edwards was listening.
And he liked the way I worked. And he called me, and I went in for an interview with him.
That landed him a job hosting Truth or Consequences.
Remember this name. You're going to be hearing a lot about him. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Barker. Here's Bob.
And in 1972, it was on to The Price is Right.
Bob Barker!
I would start every show looking for someone with whom I could create laughter and have fun.
One of his favorite moments occurred when a young woman wearing a tube top heard her name called to come on down.
And she jumped to her feet, began jumping up and down, and both of them came out of the tube top. She came on down and they came on out. And I didn't even see it. I was still behind the doors. And when I came out, the audience was screaming. And I thought, they love me, they love me. And then I came to terms with the fact that no audience had ever loved me this much.
The lovely Nikki is holding Orson.
As Barker's fame grew, so did his commitment to animals, a passion he shared with his late wife, who died in 1981.
And Orson is looking for a home.
And Barker started ending each show with a plea.
Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
It's a practice continued by Barker's successor, Drew Carey.
Folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to get your pets spayed or neutered. It's the right thing to do. See you next time. Bye-bye.
But Bob Barker ran headfirst into controversy and angered the fur industry when he quit hosting the Miss Universe pageant in 1987 because the sponsors refused to stop giving away fur coats as prizes.
Did you think, oh my gosh, I might be throwing my career to the wind here?
No, my accountant had feelings about it, but I didn't.
In fact, his career flourished. He's got 19 Emmys to prove it.
Did you still get a kick out of it? I mean, by the time you won number 19?
Oh, of course. 19 was just as pleasant as number 1.
But he seems just as proud of the awards he's won for protecting animals.
I received this as a tribute for my work in exposing cruelty to animals, cruelty to chimpanzees. There, those bunnies.
After all, this is a man who has devoted an entire room of his house to his 2 rabbits.
They're very lucky bunnies, huh?
They are lucky bunnies, is right.
So it's no wonder that since Bob Barker decided to retire from The Price is Right last year,
Thank you.
he has never looked back.
I'm busy anyway with animal projects and various other things, and so I'm not sitting around worrying about what am I going to think about in the next hour, you know. I'm having fun doing a lot of things, and I'm a success at retirement. All right.
Hollywood is mourning the loss of an icon. Bob Barker, who was the longest-running host of The Price is Right, died from natural causes at the age of 99. His rep, Roger Neal, confirmed in a statement to Access Hollywood on Saturday. Following the heartbreaking news, Barker's famous friends and former co-stars took to social media to pay tribute to the late star. Adam Sandler, who starred alongside Barker in Happy Gilmore, penned on Instagram, quote, "The man, the myth, the best. Such a sweet, funny guy to hang out with. Loved talking to him, loved laughing with him, loved him kicking the crap out of me. He will be missed by everyone I know. Heartbreaking day. Love to Bob always and his family. Thanks for all you gave us." Drew Carey, who took over as the Price is Right host when Barker retired in 2007, wrote on Twitter, quote, "Very sad day for the Price is Right family and animal lovers all over the world. There hasn't been a day on set that I didn't think of Bob Barker and thank him. I will carry his memory in my heart forever. Hashtag RIP Bob Barker. We love you." Barker's longtime friend, Nancy Burnett, also commented on the heartbreaking news, sharing in a statement, quote, "I am so proud of the trailblazing work Barker and I did together to expose the cruelty to animals in the entertainment industry and including working to improve the plight of abused and exploited animals in the United States and internationally. We were great friends over these 40 years. He will be missed." Barker hosted the hit game show The Price is Right for over 35 years. Throughout his legendary career, the animal activist won 19 Daytime Emmy Awards, 5 of them for Outstanding Game Show Host. He also received an Emmy Award for Lifetime Achievement back in 1999 and was inducted into the Television Academy's Hall of Fame in 2004. In 2017, Access Hollywood visited the set of The Price is Right, and host Kit Hoover and Natalie Morales gave a peek at what it's like to be a model on the show.
What we got is the co-hosts of Access Hollywood Live, Kit Hoover and Natalie Morales, with a karaoke package.
While still getting our sea legs, we broke rule number 1.
Don't look at Drew.
Yeah.
When he's talking, look at the camera.
And what did we do? We looked at Drew. It was time to come back strong with our next item up for bid.
Here's the prize.
It's an epic battle on a ping pong table.
And that's when James showed us no mercy.
Whoa! Yeah, way to go, James. Those are guests. I got carried away.
And before we knew it, it was the Showcase Showdown. Our item up for bid, a tropical getaway.
Take them on your vacation to beautiful Maui.
Who had the better hand modeling gestures?
I couldn't, let me call it a tie.
Let's just say...
You guys were so in sync. That's the thing. They were amazingly in sync, like they were sharing a brain or something like that. It was amazing.
Some sad news. If you're just tuning in, legendary game show host Bob Barker has died at age 99. Barker's longtime publicist, Roger Neal, putting out a statement saying this: "It is with profound sadness that we announce that the world's greatest MC who ever lived, Bob Barker, has left us as we continue to remember his legacy." We're joined now by television host and entertainment correspondent Josh McBride. Josh, thank you for taking time on this sad news, but you have reflections of Bob Barker. Tell us.
Yeah, a sad day, but also remembering and celebrating Bob Barker's legacy. I mean, this guy was 99 years old, died from natural causes, we know from TMZ's alert earlier today in his home in LA. I mean, but let's talk about his accomplishments really quickly. Over 35 years hosting The Price is Right. A lot of people don't even realize how many Emmys he won in that time. 19 Emmys during his career, 5 for Outstanding Game Show Host. I mean, his radio and television career spanned over 60 years, Griff. That's a big chunk of time to be celebrated.
And, Josh, really, you look at the measure of the man, and as I was pointing out a little bit earlier, and we'll do so again, he was a World War II hero, a naval aviator that flew as many as 8 different aircraft, from the Wildcat to the Corsair. And so here you have this young World War II hero, naval aviator, that really then transitioned so seamlessly from radio that he got into television, really in the early days when television was simply in its infancy. And then, of course, the Price is Right that started in the early 1970s. As a kid that grew up in the 70s and 80s, I can remember every sick day I was home from school turning on the TV and hearing Bob Barker say, "Come on down," and trying to guess the prices of household items, sometimes things in the cupboard I was eating. And really that long view of Navy aviator hero to one of the most iconic, successful game show hosts, it's really remarkable to try and contemplate really how significant his accomplishments were.
Yeah, he actually landed his first game show, which wasn't The Price is Right. It was a game show back in 1956 called Truth or Consequences. It aired on NBC. This job he held for about 18 years until it went off the air. But there's so many accomplishments that Barker had beyond just, of course, the obvious. We know that every episode of Price is Right, he was a pet fanatic. This guy was a longtime vegetarian who always ended the show, helped control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. I mean, he was so passionate, and he incorporated that into his daily routine and his daily lifestyle, which we really love.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.
It happened yesterday.
Come on now!
Television game show host Bob Barker, who served for half a century as host of first Truth or Consequences.
All right, let's go. Start right now. Into the tire. Come on, I'll help you. Come on, let's go. That's right. Okay.
And then
Here's the star of The Price is Right, Bob Barker.
The Price is Right died at his home in Los Angeles. Off-screen, Barker earned a name for himself as a passionate animal rights activist.
Bob Barker, come on down!
When he received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Daytime Emmys in 1999, he famously concluded his remarks saying,
It has been suggested that since this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, that I should say something profound. And I shall. Help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Thank you, everybody.
The legendary Bob Barker was 99 years old.
I'm the master reptile.